We're in a 2006 Chevy Express 3500 van. We're going to start with disassembly. I'm going to go ahead, we're going to pull the two 10mm screws from the bottom of the dash. I'm going to go ahead and apply outward pressure. And we're going to remove the underdash. We're going to remove the four 10mm nuts that hold on the knee bash pad. Sneak it around the dash. Remove it completely. We're going to remove the steering column cover plastic. We're going to go ahead and remove the tilt lever and slide our plastic tool behind it. Pop it out. Oh, it really popped. So there are no screws. We're going to separate the steering column cover plastic. Has a seam down the side here. We're going to go ahead and we're just going to pull down on the bottom and the front a little bit while we pull up on the top, and we're going to use our plastic tool to pry on the front. When we do that, the column will unclip. We're going to repeat the procedure on the opposite side. Again, we're going to pry in the front. We pull up on the top. I'm going to cut a couple of the zip ties here underneath so we can separate the ignition harness from everything else. I'm going to go ahead, we're going to release the ignition switch plug. So an easy way to remove the plug is to push forward on it. You'll make a little gap right here where this clip is. Put your screwdriver in, a little teeny screwdriver, and push the clip back and you can unplug the plug. Now we have pass lock wires taped to the plug here. So we want to get rid of this tape. When you unwrap it like this, it gets very sticky. You might be better off cutting the tape, but not cutting into the conductors. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so we're going to just slice from here right up. Okay, get this tape out of the way. We're going to go ahead and we're going to locate a couple of the other connections that we'll be using for the job, and then we're going to plug in our equipment and program it. So we have the headlight switch right here. We're going to just go ahead and we're going to remove some of the electrical tape so we can access a parking light wire located here. So again, carefully, we're going to slice into the tape. Being very careful not to cut the wire or yourself. And we're going to expose the wires for the headlights. So we pulled the wires and we've splayed them. The brown wire with a white stripe is a negative parking light trigger. When we probe it with a grounded test light, it will turn on the parking lights. Now if you listen, you can hear the parking light relay clicking. You can also look at the dash and you'll see that the instrument backlighting is lit when this wire is grounded. Okay, so the next wire we're looking for is a brake signal. It's a positive signal, and it comes from the brake. When you press the brake, a positive signal is placed on this white wire. So we're looking at the small plug. If you follow this harness up, it goes right to the brake switch, and we're going to put our grounded test light on. We're going to probe the white wire while we push the brake pedal. The light is going to light, verifying this is the brake signal. So we're looking for the horn wire. On the main plug here, we're going to probe the tan wire at the end pin. I will give you a closer look. This is our horn wire. So we have the test light on the horn wire. That is our horn wire. We're going to plug in our ignition portion of our T-harness. We're going to support the ignition switch while we plug in the plug, making sure that it locks completely in. We're now going to plug the plug we removed from the ignition switch into the corresponding end of the T-harness. We're going to make sure it clicks and locks. Now we're also going to place a large zip tie through the harness to hold it together. I don't like the way the plug is made, but there's only one game in town for this plug, so kind of stuck with it. Okay, so we're gonna zip it together so it can't come apart. If you plug it in, you'll notice there's a little play without the zip. So let's get the zip tie on there. We're going to go to the next step. We're going to remove the two 7mm bolts from the diagnostic plug. We're going to locate the diagnostic plug end of our T-harness right here. We're going to screw our diagnostic plug in the place of the diagnostic plug that was there, and we're going to plug the diagnostic plug that was there into our T-harness. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to mount the diagnostic plug after we plug it in. We plugged our diagnostic plug in, and we're going to go ahead and mount the plug. So we have our diagnostic plug mounted, and we plugged the vehicle's diagnostic plug into the other end of our T-harness, and we have it sitting up top here. We're going to apply 3 red T-taps. First one we're going to tap, first wire, is the horn wire that we previously located. Now we're going to tap the brake wire. Now we're going to tap the parking light wire. At this point, we're going to plug in our connections. Keep in mind, the only required connection is the brake connection. We're going to plug our white wire into the parking light wire. So it'll be white to brown and white. Brown and white on the vehicle, our wire is white. Brake wire, our violet wire, we'll plug it into the brake. Horn wire, our yellow wire. We're going to go ahead, we're going to plug it into the horn. So our parking light wire. There is our brake wire. There is our horn wire. At this point, we're ready to pair our device. We want to make sure we have our remote starter module plugged in. We're going to go ahead and we're going to plug in the main power plug. Going to plug in the secondary plug. Going to make sure both plugs lock in. And then on the top, we have a 4-pin data plug. We're going to make sure that we have this 4-pin data plug plugged in as well. There's the 4-pin. There's the secondary and the primary. We're going to make sure that we have our module plugged in also. So on our device we have another 2 ends. We have one with a data plug. We're going to plug the data plug into the module, and we're going to plug the white plug into the module. There's the white plug. There's the data plug. We're going to place the vehicle key in the ignition and turn the ignition to the run position. To do this, we're going to watch the light on our module. We turn the key to run, the light will go red, and then it'll go green and turn off. If it doesn't go green, start the engine with the key. The light should turn green and turn off. Now, shut the key off, remove it from the ignition. We're outside the vehicle. We're going to lock the doors. We're going to press the lock button 1 time. All the doors are going to lock silently. If we want to hear that it's locked, we press it twice. It'll give a 1 honk confirmation. We're going to unlock the doors. When we unlock the doors, we're going to press the button once. All the doors are going to unlock. The parking lights are going to blink 2 times and then stay on for 30 seconds, lighting your way to the vehicle. If you want a audible indication that it's unlocked, press the button twice. You'll get 2 horn honks. To start the engine, press and hold the button with the key. Let's turn off the parking lights first. I'm going to go ahead, press the button with the key for about 3 seconds. Vehicle's going to crank, start, and run for 20 minutes. If you don't come out, it's going to shut itself off. If you decide you do not want to go out, you can turn the engine off by pressing the key button again. Leave your heat on medium and defrost when you park the vehicle. To activate the panic feature, press and hold the lock button. To put the system in temporary valet, which disables remote starting, press and hold lock and unlock simultaneously. You'll get 3 honks of the horn. Now if you try to start the vehicle, instead of starting, it blinks the lights 3 times, letting you know it's in valet. We're going to remove it from valet. We're going to press and hold lock and unlock simultaneously until we get 3 honks. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to start the engine. Our run time is 20 minutes, but there's a way to extend that if you want the vehicle to run longer. So with the engine running in remote start mode, if you want to extend the run time and add another 20 minutes from the point where you do this button press, you would press and hold both buttons at the same time. The parking lights will blink 3 times. The run time is now extended for another 20 minutes. We're going to shut the vehicle off. The VEH button is a multi-vehicle switch. The remote is capable of controlling 2 separate vehicles, one on the blue channel, and if you hold the button down, it'll change to the red channel. You could program another vehicle. We have both channels programmed to this vehicle. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to change it back to channel 1.